Greetings, everyone. This is Rock on the Spot Convention. We can come up with Roundup. Yeah, I know we're a little bit later than normal, but there were extenuating circumstances with being the beginning of the month and whatnot. So let's get on with it, shall we? Got a decent haul today. Should be breaking these up into two separate videos. Excuse me. I'll start things off with House of X. Number 6. The final issue of House of X. And the next to last issue in the House of X Powers of 10 arc. So we begin with a quote from Xavier, which will be mentioned later on in the issue. Is what we have perfect? No. What is? But it's a start. And a good one. So we begin on Krakoa a month ago in Moira's No Space, which is Professor X's secret cradle. And Moira, Magneto, and Xavier are discussing, okay, what we're about to do is something big. So are we all agreed that this is what we have to do? Because if we're not totally committed to this, we can't go forward. We can't turn back once we've started down this path. And Eric actually has this really moving speech to Charles. This is just before Charles gives his big speech, which I'll actually read through in its entirety. Whatever has been there between us over the years, all our disagreements, all the anger at the other's relentless ideology and unyielding persistence, that ends today. You have my word. So what Xavier says in his address to the world is, humans of the planet Earth, I am the mutant Charles Xavier, and I bring you a message of hope. In the coming days, you will learn of several far-reaching pharmaceutical breakthroughs that have been discovered by mutant scientists. These drugs extend human life, heal diseases of the mind, and will prevent or cure most common maladies. Influenza, Alzheimer's, ALS, many cancers. Gone. Overnight. These drugs will make life on this planet better. Remarkably so. All this we have made for you. In the past, they would have been a gift, something freely given by me to you, because I believe it would create harmony between our two people, or between our two peoples. That was my dream, harmony. But you have taught me a harsh lesson. That dream was a lie. You see, all I ever wanted was peace between humans and mutants. All I ever wanted was to love you and for you to love us. We wanted to save you, and we did, many times. But in return, all you did was stand by while evil men killed our children. Over 16 million of them. So there will be no gift, for you have not earned it. We will, however, let you pay for it. In return for two things, we will provide you with the means to have a better life. One without pain or suffering and full of hope, and it will cost you so little. First, you must accept the island of Krakoa as the nation-state of all mutants on this planet. We will happily go through the same process as any newly formed nation with the UN, but there is an expectation that our sovereignty will be recognized. Second, all mutants, by birth, can claim Krakoan citizenship. And with that citizenship, as we expect a period of amnesty, so that those who have been singled out as criminals or punished and imprisoned by humans can overcome man's bias against mutants. From this day forward, mutants will be judged by mutant law, not man's. These are our simple demands, and they are not negotiable. In return for making our lives better, we will do the same for you. And if you find yourselves asking, who are these mutants to think they can dictate terms to us? We are the future, an evolutionary inevitability, the Earth's true inheritors. You closed your eyes last night believing this world would be yours forever. That was your dream, and like mine, it was a lie. Here's a new truth. While you slept, the world changed. So, we then begin with get a breakdown of the Quiet Council of Krakoa. Um, as well as what's referred to as the Great Captains. The Great Captains being the ones that are in charge with assuming the responsibility of defending Krakoa. And in the field, the captain has total control. Among the captains, the captain commander is considered first among equals. Okay. Anyway, so we get the first meeting of the Quiet Council. Which consists of Magneto, Xavier, Apocalypse, Sinister, Exodus, Mystique, Sebastian Shaw, Emma Frost, Storm, Jean Grey, and Nightcrawler, as well as Krakoa itself, and Doug Ramsey, and an unknown final member. Their first meeting is that they're going to be standing in judgment of Sabretooth for his crimes in the first issue. And it turns out that first it's decided that they had to come up with laws. And so it's pretty much decided that killing someone one of the big laws is killing someone who cannot be brought back to life. So, human on mutant death is a big crime. But it is also very clarified that, killing in defense of the nation is something wholly different. And so, since they can't kill Sabretooth because he would just be resurrected, he is exiled. Stasis, deep inside Krakoa, alive but immobile, aware but unable to act on it. For forever. There's a possibility that a day might come when he has an opportunity to redeem himself. But that's not now. So he's basically, Xavier says he's exiled, but he's still there, so yeah. And Xavier says, mentions it's distasteful running a nation, and that he hopes that they never get used to it, they never grow cold from it, and that they never learn to love it. And we see a celebration. Hope is there. Banshee, Siren, Dazzler, In fact, Siren boosts up Dazzler, gives Dazzler some sound to work with. We see Archangel, Beast, and Iceman. Exodus teaching some of the, talking with some of the students. Sync and Skin from Generation X. There's a reunion between Gene, Scott, and Logan. Basically, Logan brings a 6-pack of beer to them, takes 2 cans and walks off, and goes to offer one of the cans to the Gorgon. Jean decides she's going to take a similar step and takes one of the cans, or takes 2 of the cans, and offers it to Emma. Then the remaining 2 of the 6-pack are shared between Havoc and Cyclops. And there's also some massive Krakoa explaining what's where. And that is where the issue comes to its close. Ending with a quote from Magneto. "Just look at what we have made." Alright, and that is the end of House of X. Okay then. Okay, that's my big house. We got Slide of Powers of 10, number 6 to go next week, so we're almost out of the woods when it comes to Hoxpox. And then comes Dawn of X. Moving on, though, to Savage Avengers, number 6. So where we left off, the Savage Avengers had defeated Kulan Goth, though he did manage to escape. And while Wolverine, Elektra, Venom, and Brother Voodoo utilized Voodoo's magics to head home, Conan and Punisher opted to take the long way, walking through Antarctica in hopes of finding a ship and then finding passage to where to rebury Punisher's family. So, also it's nice to see a map of Antarctica that pinpoints just where the Savage Land is. So the two basically hike their way through the Savage Land, killing any beast that comes upon them. We'll see a brief moment where Conan gets to use Punisher's M60. Doesn't much care for it, though. Not his style. Conan and Frank make some cloaks so they can traverse through, well, the bitter cold of Antarctica. It's kind of just a journey, and a journey through Antarctica with them. They make their way to a boat. And then part ways. However, someone is watching. A Doombot. But during your journey also, Crom, or well, Conan tells Frank more about Crom, and it has they get the whole concept right that yes, Crom is the god that Conan worships, but that he doesn't think that Crom is the be all end all. He'll happily insult Crom if he feels it's necessary, such as in the issue he refers to Crom as that old bastard. So at one point. Moving on to Black Cat number 5. Where we left off, Black Cat and her crew had infiltrated 4 Yancey Street and were in the process of stealing a book from the Fantastic Four. When Blastar from the negative zone popped through the negative zone portal and started attacking the place. So yeah, the book opens with Sue on her way home from shopping, griping about how her husband can make sure that there's 4 bars anywhere on the planet and no roaming fees in the negative zone, but he can't make the battery last more than 4 hours. And then she arrives at one to find that it's on. She arrives at 49th Street only to discover that it's on lockdown. Inside, Blastar and his forces are fighting Black Cat, Human Torch, and Black Cat's crew. And Blastar has taken a liking to Black Cat. Also, Ocampo's shown up, and while he's not, he's rather focused on the fact that Black Cat got him fired. So they call a truce. After once we'll figure out what's what after we're no longer fighting a despot from the friggin' negative zone. So Blastar handily beats Human Torch because, well, yeah. I mean, and Bruno basically says, hey, Blastar needs to be shown that, he ain't too welcome around these parts. So, Bruno grabs a suit that Ben Grimm wore briefly that when he was reverted back to being Ben Grimm from the Thing. We have a flashback to part of Black Cat's training with the White Fox, who basically, it's like explaining the difference between nerve and bravery. Nerve, he explains, entails taking a calculated risk. Bravery is taking a reckless one. And it's apparently a lesson. Something that Black Cat's father didn't take to heart. And it's quite likely that Black Cat won't either. Excuse me. And so, but yeah, the flashback concludes with them running someone off the road, and well, we know he's going to be here in his vehicle, so we use our bigger vehicle to stop him. Meanwhile, Doc from Black Cat's crew is working on hot wiring the Fantastic Car and complaining that the wiring is terrible and, how could Reed Richards have built this? Though, explained that Johnny built it. So, yeah, basically, that explains everything. So Blastar does manage to defeat Bruno, but he's surprised and wondering, okay, you faced me with just the suit. You didn't run. What are you? Though Bruno says he's from Pittsburgh, so So then Blastar comes after Black Cat, and yeah, gets bushwhacked by the crew. They chuck him into the portal, but there's a bomb, and well, just as it's about to explode, Sue shows up. Kind of like, okay, what happened? Where's Johnny? Why was there a bomb in my house? And it's like, oh yeah, Blastar stopped by. And Johnny, being, well, Johnny just kind of, hey, she came by, Felicia came by for lunch. These delivery guys got caught in the crossfire. When Blastar ripped open the gate. You know who this is. So, turns out the ambulance is Fox's cover. And so, they get everyone in. And Sonny Ocampo explains just who it is he's working for, and and Black Cat tells him, hey, just walk away. I'm a cat. Odessa Drake's a saber tooth. Get caught in the middle of us, you'll get mauled. And and Fleetwood says, hey, I did you wrong. That's fair. Here's 10 grand and some advice. Walk away from Odessa while you can. And so Fox is just like, why would you give him the petty cash? Just, he's part of the crew, and everyone in the crew gets a cut. Later on, Drake is learning that, okay, yeah, Ocampo's off the board. She's asked if Sonny should be dealt with. She's like, no, don't worry about it. But then she learns that Black Fox is back in town. And so, yeah, Black Fox, not White Fox. So Black Fox, yeah, Odessa Drake wants him. Alrighty. Moving on to Champions number 10, where we left off, with the exception of Brawn, Miss Marvel, Nova, and Vision, and Spider-Man, the champions were under the thrall of Blackheart, the son of Mephisto. Actually, I take that back. Brawn was actually still under his control. So it's Vision, Nova, Spider-Man, and Miss Marvel against the entire rest of the team. So they duke it out. Um, most of the early, most of it's being narrated by Viv Vision, or Viv Vision 2.0. Explaining that the situation Viv is about to awaken to is difficult. But then Braun manages to clear his head, get his head cleared. And so Viv and Riri Ironheart make up. And basically Viv says, hey, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I was so much impulsive, wrapped up in my own feelings, I didn't consider yours. I'm sorry. She's able to get herself out of Blackheart's influence. With some Sonics, they managed to, from Ironheart, things calmed down a little bit. And there's a brief point where, okay, yeah, maybe things are turning back into a fight. But, yeah, the champions stand together against Blackheart. And before they can truly defeat him, however, they beat him. And then Mephisto shows up. Explaining, hey, I'm not, don't, and when, Braun says, hey, we're not making any more deals. This is like, hey, that's fine. I'm not here to I'm not offering any. And then also kind of going on, he also chides Blackheart for hey, I was setting things up for this long game and you had to go and fuck it all up. Thanks, ass. And so, yeah. But he goes back to hell, basically says, soon enough, eventually all of you will learn that the world can only disappoint you. And so the champions are back together. And the series is over. Oh, really, this is the final issue. Alright, next up we've got Old Man Quill, number 10. Okay, so where we left off, Peter Quill, the hero of Horse Creek, was trying to find, or had managed to open a time portal, and it was causing us, which alerted Dr. Doom and his people, he did open a time portal, but he was unable to get his hands on the Ultimate Nullifier. So, a swarm of Doombots is heading towards Fisk Lake City, and Spider-Woman, the granddaughter of Spider-Man, the daughter of Hawkeye, really, was like, okay, well, we'll stand up to Doom, and then the Doombots just blow right past them. They're not interested in Fisk Lake Creek, or Fisk Lake City. So, it can't be. So Viv is helping. Viv Vision is the future version of Viv Vision. Is talking with Star-Lord and kind of dealing with it. Oh, he's going nuts. He is. Then he finally explains, Galactus is on his way here, so it's great that you want to defeat Doom, but that's not going to matter when Galactus shows up and eats the friggin' planet. And he realizes, oh, they have a telepath, and it's like, yep, that's true, okay. So the best they figure is, so they begin to work on a plan. There's a brief interlude on Titan, where the church, the fleet of the church flies by, and Thanos looks up from his gardening and like, the Earth is really screwed. So Herbie and Star-Lord go into one of the time nexus, and they end up on the day of the Red Skull's attack in the Bastion building, and giant-sized Loki is trying to pound through the force field. Turns out that Johnny and Ben are dead. Reed can't get hold of anyone, but he's trying to get the time panel to work. But the time's not operational, but yeah. So the time portal opens, and here comes Star-Lord, who gets smacked around, and he has to actually stun Reed, but then Kang shows up, kills Sue, and kills Sue, and then manages to kill Reed. However, and then back in the future, Doombots show up, and Viv and her resistance start fighting the Doombots. And then we actually get a really great time travel bit where Star-Lord tells Herbie to remind past him to take the kid's knife, as well as the stun gun, and he stabs Kang in the eye. But Herbie's destroyed, and well, now Star-Lord's stuck in the past. So now he's got to figure out. That's where the issue ends. That'll be it for this part of the weekly roundup. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.